Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're looking at a true unsung hero of maritime engineering. When you think of massive cargo ships or bulk carriers, you probably picture enormous engines and gigantic propellers, right? But keeping those incredible mechanical beasts running smoothly actually requires defending against a hidden, almost microscopic enemy. Enter the KCLTD shaft earthing device. We're going to cover the exact specifications, operation, components, and troubleshooting of this vital piece of tech.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered what invisible force is literally eating away at a ship's massive engine bearings? I mean, it's not just physical friction or corrosive seawater, it's actually electricity. Specifically, it's something called spark erosion, which is caused by a really dangerous buildup of electrical potential. And if it's left unchecked, well, this invisible force can tear the heart right out of a ship's propulsion system.
So, to stop this from happening, engineers use a brilliant method called shaft earthing. Basically, it's a way to reduce that spark erosion and excessive wear by grounding the propeller shaft with a slip ring. The physics behind it are actually super fascinating. When a propeller shaft turns, it actually becomes electrically insulated from the ship's hull by this super thin lubricating oil film inside the bearings. That oil acts like a physical electrical wall, allowing a heavy charge to build up on the spinning shaft. So we have to give that dangerous charge a safe path back to the hull, effectively grounding it before it forces its way through the machinery.
To really understand how the technical manual lays this all out, we're going to break it down into 5 incredibly clear parts. We'll start with why ships need shaft earthing, move into the specifications and core components, walk through the exact installation sequence, look at monitoring a normal operation, and then wrap it all up with troubleshooting common failures. Right, let's kick things off with part 1. Why ships need shaft earthing. The KCLTD manual lays out the stakes perfectly right here. Quote, "The electrical potential between the shaft and the hull can also cause a heavy current to flow in bearings when the oil film breaks down. Excessive wear on the shaft bearings can often be traced to this cause." End quote. So the crucial point is that this isn't just about a tiny bit of static electricity. If that protective oil film momentarily breaks down or, say, gets contaminated with seawater, a massive electrical current just arcs right across the gap. That causes deep, permanent pitting on the bearing surface. By providing an alternative path for the current, this device literally prevents catastrophic bearing failure. Now that we understand the why, let's look at part 2, specifications and core components. Now, what's really interesting about this layout is how clearly the whole mechanical architecture is structured. Imagine anchoring your eyes to that large 400mm intermediate shaft right in the center. Notice how it's wrapped tightly by a silver alloy slip ring? Then, riding directly on that ring, you've got the brush holders. There's a double brush holder on one side, purely for earthing, and a single brush holder on the other, specifically designed for monitoring. If you follow the wiring path all the way up from that monitoring brush, the system connects straight to a digital millivolt meter, giving the crew a real-time window into the electrical state of the shaft. Bridging those mechanical and digital components is where the real magic happens. The intricate spring tension brush holders are designed to hold high-density silver graphite brushes firmly against the slip ring at a very specific preset pressure, 225 grams per square centimeter, to be exact. And that high silver content, it's absolutely vital. It ensures repeatable, low-conductivity resistance even in a really dirty engine room. These brushes basically pick up the electrical current and send that data straight to the digital millivolt meter. That meter has a high internal resistance, restricting current flow so it can accurately display the exact potential difference between the shaft and the hull. Having great components is one thing, but they're completely useless if not put together right. So let's hit part 3, the installation sequence. The shipyard has a highly specific zero margin for error process here to ensure the system works and you actually get the expected 1-year lifespan out of those silver graphite brushes. The installation just has to be flawless. First, technicians have to clean the shaft area completely down to bright, bare steel. Second, they cut the slip ring overlap at an exact 45-degree angle. Third, they file the inner edges with a fine mesh file or sandpaper. And finally, they fasten the whole assembly incredibly tightly around the shaft using a stainless steel band and layers of pressure tape, which actually has to be wrapped in the opposite direction of the shaft's rotation so it doesn't loosen up. And this brilliantly illustrates why those steps matter so much. That precise 45-degree cut and the careful filing of the inner surface to remove sharp points, that smoothing process is non-negotiable. If that joint isn't perfectly smooth, with absolutely zero protrusions or gaps, the slip ring is just going to chew right through those expensive silver graphite brushes in no time. A smooth track is literally the secret to a long, healthy life for the entire earthing system.
Okay, the device is perfectly installed. Let's move to part 4, monitoring and normal operation. This is where the ship's crew takes over. 80. I want you to really remember this number. If you take away just one metric from this entire explainer today, make it 80 millivolts. When that gigantic propeller shaft is actively turning out at sea, 80 millivolts is the absolute maximum threshold for a healthy, properly grounded system.
Let's contrast exactly what that looks like for the crew reading the meter. If the display shows a reading below 80 millivolts, perfect. The ship has proper grounding, the system is healthy, and those crucial bearings are safe. But if that reading creeps above 80 millivolts, that is an immediate warning. It means the electrical resistance has spiked, and the slip ring and brushes have to be visually checked and cleaned right away before serious spark erosion can do its damage. But hey, in the harsh environment of a ship's engine room, things don't always run perfectly. That brings us to part 5, troubleshooting common failures.
Let's move to and see how this builds a complete, actionable diagnostic framework. Think of this as the engineer's quick detective guide. If your meter reads a flat 0, well, don't panic immediately. The shaft might just be at rest, meaning the current is naturally grounding through the resting engine bearings. But if you're out sailing and you read 0, your cables might be shorted, or your brushes are totally worn out and need replacing. If the reading is too high, above 80, you almost certainly have a dirty slip ring covered in oil or rust, or maybe a loose earthing cable. And if the millivolt value is just jumping around and varying widely, the edge of the slip ring probably isn't smooth anymore. The fix there is to dismantle it, remove any gap, and rub it perfectly smooth with emery paper.
Of course, to prevent those failures in the first place, maintenance is key. Remember, those silver graphite brushes are consumable parts. They wear down about 2 to 3 millimeters for every 1,000 hours of operation. There's actually an engraved line 15 millimeters from the top of the brushes that tells you exactly when it's time to swap them out for genuine spares. Plus, this whole grounding assembly has to be checked for cleanliness at least twice a week. Any buildup of dirt or oil has to be wiped away with a degreaser and a clean cloth. No exceptions.
We have covered a tremendous amount of technical ground today, so let's quickly summarize the core takeaways. First, shaft earthing is your primary defense to prevent catastrophic bearing wear from electrical spark erosion. Second, the system heavily relies on genuine silver graphite brushes for low resistance. Third, a healthy system always keeps that digital meter reading below 80 millivolts. Fourth, extreme cleanliness and perfectly smooth slip ring edges during installation are absolutely critical for the system's longevity. And finally, always investigate a 0 reading while the ship is actually sailing.
It is truly amazing how much precise specification, careful operation, and rigorous troubleshooting goes into a system most people don't even know exists. Next time you hear a massive ship's engine running or you see a giant cargo vessel crossing the horizon, ask yourself, is the invisible shield of the shaft earthing device holding the line? It's kind of incredible to think that keeping thousands of tons of steel safely moving across the global supply chain relies entirely on a meticulously installed slip ring and a few silver graphite brushes. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me, and as always, keep learning.